It's back, Mikey and Emma's Everyday People, and these people, I've got to say, have always intrigued me. Swingers, why not?
These are people that kind of just like sleep around, and sometimes they're in relationships and sometimes they're not.
Partner swapping, all of that.
Yeah.
Warning, this discussion is not suitable for children.
Emma and I are up for it.
I'm not up for it, but I'm up to talk about it. Hi,
That's
Rebecca.
what I meant. Rebecca is our swinger on Everyday People. Hello, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. How are you guys?
Good.
Emma, you
Rebecca.
want to know first off, you got to why? Is it,
how did you get into this? Like, what was the scenario where you went, you know what, I'm going to try swinging?
Okay, I think it sounds a bit strange, but it happened fairly organically for me. I started fairly early when I was 19 years old, so at the time I had a partner and I was very curious about women. So as a lot of women seem to be these days, I was kissing girls in the club after a few drinks and wanted to take it further but had no idea how to go about it. So we did a bit of looking online and came across this website called RedHotPie.com.au, which is a social networking and dating site for swingers and singles.
So all swingers and singles are on there, but they know that, you might be hooking up with someone who's a couple and all of that, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So singles on there either are looking for other singles or they're open to the possibility of meeting couples or females looking for other females and that sort of thing.
So you went on there, and then what was your first experience like? Who was it with? What went down?
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, for our first experience, we didn't want anything full on because, we were still quite nervous about it after hearing all the typical stories about going to a party full of, old hairy people with teeth in a bowl, which is nothing like the scene whatsoever. Let me just preface with saying that.
Right.
So, we went on RedHotPie and had a look at, they've got this events section where all these different types of private parties are listed or there's swingers clubs on there. So we found this swingers club that was in the area and decided just to pop along there one night, have a few drinks, scope out who was there and see what was going on. So that was my first experience in the scene.
Well, that's not a good enough detail. Man,
yeah,
woman,
we need to know, who did you end up hooking up with? Did you hook up with another couple or a single?
Well, while we were there, sitting there having our first drinks, calm the nerves a bit, checking out the crowd, and was very pleasantly surprised with the quality of people there, roughly around our age.
Okay.
And started playing pool with another couple that was there. So just having a chat and a friendly drink. They expressed interest, asked us if we wanted to head to a room together, but I just said, oh, look, I'm not quite ready for that yet. We're still just sort of finding our feet. And then this beautiful single girl walked in all alone. So we started talking to her and ended up having a bit of a play with her. So that was fantastic.
Wow, but so this was the first time that you saw your partner. Did he get it on with her as well?
They didn't have sex. It was pretty much everything but it was more about her and I, which tends to be a common way that things start. It's usually the females that get things started.
And he's just watching, lucky guy.
Yeah, or not necessarily. It's not that seedy. They're not sitting in a dark corner. Or
Yeah. Well, my next question was going to be, does jealousy come into the equation here? Because you guys are sleeping with other people in front of each other or doing sexy things in front of the other one. Do you have ground rules? Oh,
absolutely. To start with, I was worried about how I would feel about watching that. But I've never been a very jealous person. It's never something that I really dealt with. And obviously, before we even thought about getting into it, we were both very secure in our relationship and trusted each other completely. So communication is a huge part of it. You've got to make sure that you both talk about what are the rules. So as we were driving there on the way, we discussed, what's okay, what's not. Do we have a way that we can let each other know that we want out without actually saying it?
Okay.
So, before anything happened, we discussed it and both said,
set the ground rules. And what are the ground rules?
Well, they've changed for me, obviously, over the time. I've been in the scene now for almost 10 years. But, to start with, we both just said, let's go there. We'll see how we feel and what we're comfortable with. I was not going to have sex with another man that night if we found a couple there that we liked. So they've definitely developed since then, though.
Okay, so now are you in a relationship?
Now I'm back to being single again.
Right, so you do the single swinging thing. When you're in that relationship, did it get to a point where he was sleeping with other women at parties and you were sleeping with other men at parties?
Yes.
And how'd that go? You're not together anymore, so does it not go well?
Oh, no, that's completely unrelated to the swinging thing.
Right.
I've actually moved away since then because I met my next partner on RedHotPie.com.au.
Oh, so is that like that's a prerequisite for any of your partners now for them to be into the swinging scene?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I couldn't go back to what we call like a vanilla monogamous relationship.
Too boring for you. Okay. Well, look, lots more questions to come on 131096 if you want to comment. A lot of people want to have their say on this. Hang around, more with Rebecca, our swinger, who's joining us on Mikey and Emma's Everyday People. Mikey and Emma's Everyday People. Our topic today is swinging. And I don't mean going to the park, although I do find that fun still, sitting on that swing.
Well, you can
I can
do
still
sexy things on the swing as well.
Oh, I just meant I generally enjoy sitting on that little kid swing and going up and down.
With the chain across it.
Yeah, I
while
like
it
that
locks
one.
you in.
Yeah, I like that. Whatever, but that's not what we're talking about. Rebecca's a real-life swinger. Rebecca, we've discussed with you that you had a partner, you were doing it with him, now you're doing it, you're swinging single. Let's be realistic about some of the downsides of it. Have you seen some marriages end, or what is the major downside to swinging?
Look, I can honestly say that I've never seen a marriage end because of swinging.
Yeah. So why do people do it?
People do it because, for one, I honestly believe that it's not natural to be monogamous. That's something that society is kind of just forced upon us, and now we've accepted it as the norm. But it's not natural. You know, people have sexual urges, and I don't think there's anything wrong with acting on that.
Okay, but and you're saying that you're not meant to just act on that with your partner. You think it's natural to just to want to be with other people.
Absolutely.
A lot of people calling through this in agreement.
Do you find, Rebecca, that emotions get involved in this kind of activity? Like, have you ever fallen for a guy that's someone else's husband or boyfriend or vice versa?
Fallen for, no. Have I loved them? Yes. But not in a way that's ever going to jeopardise someone else's relationship.
So you mean
I need
what do you mean by love? Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, after I stopped seeing the partner that I joined the scene with, I became really good friends with another couple that I met on RedHotPie. Okay. And we saw each other for 6 weekends straight. I spent at their house, and we were hanging out, going out and doing things together, and then also staying home and playing. So I still keep in touch with them now, years and years later, and see them whenever I go back and visit. So they're great friends of mine. I absolutely love him, and I love her too.
Yeah, and you mean love as a friend, not love romantically.
No, I've never had that happen, especially not when you already have a partner. I think while it's sex, you disconnect yourself from that really emotional side of it that people tend to get attached to.
Yeah,
I find that a problem for me.
Yeah, I find that really interesting because a lot of women are not able to do that. Like, I know that for me personally, when I'm having sex with someone, I have to be in love with them, and I can't do it.
It's just like going to the toilet, you're saying.
Not exactly.
Well, in a way, you understand it's a physical thing. It's just like a bowel movement, you know?
I wouldn't put it that way.
Oh.
I will not have sex with someone if I'm not attracted to them, not just physically, but their personality. I have to like them as a person.
Okay.
Right.
Have you found, since your first relationship, as we discussed in part one, if you've just tuned in, you were swinging together, that didn't work out for separate reasons. Do you find it hard to get a guy who wants to be with a girl who will swing? Have you found if you've brought that up to people, they're maybe not interested?
Look, when I have a guy just approach me out in a normal club, automatically I'm kind of skeptical about it because I'm like, well, they're never going to be into the things that I'm into.
Yeah.
So I meet everyone online. I only date people off swingers websites because I know they're either interested in what I'm interested in or they've already been there and they're not for them.
So that's your thing. You will always swing. Like, even you will eventually be one of those old people with a key in the bowl at the old party. Eventually you will be, Rebecca. You will be.
Look, absolutely, but I'm not going to be one of the old hairy ones.
No.
Swingers tend to look after themselves better than anybody else I found because
you have
I know
to.
it's important.
Yeah, exactly.
So they look good.
Okay, so overall it sounds like you've had a great experience in the swinging scene. What's the worst or most awkward encounter you've had swinging?
Okay, I would say I went to this one party, and one of the females that was there was obviously new as a couple. This was when I was part of a couple as well. So she was obviously quite new to the scene, and everyone had had a few drinks and been socialising for a while, and, you know, clothes were starting to come off and people were getting a bit flirty, and she just decided that it was her job to get the party started. So stands in the middle of the room, yells out at the top of her lungs, "Right!" and starts doing this very awkward, drunk, sexy dance, ripping off her clothes, giving everyone those, you know, come with me to the bedroom eyes. And everyone's just cringing inside.
So there's rules. There are rules.
Well, there is social etiquette we're seeing in the swinger scene.
Still at the swinger scene, social etiquette. Two final questions. Do your friends and family know that you do this?
Partially. Family.
Mum and Dad?
Not. Look, I think they would have an inkling that I'm quite sexually free and when it comes to relationships.
Yeah.
But I definitely haven't said, "Hey, guess what, Mum and Dad? I'm a swinger."
Yeah.
I think it's one of those don't ask, don't tell situations where ignorance is bliss.
Okay, and would you encourage all of our listeners to be swingers? Do you think everyone
Or to give it a go?
No, you think everyone should do it?
Look, I don't think it's for everyone. I think a lot of people are curious about it, and if they did give it a go, they would find out that they absolutely love it, which is what happened for me. So I'm always telling friends who are curious about either their sexuality or their relationship, they want to experience other things sexually, to give it a go. Like, do what we did, jump onto a website, go to a party, check out a club, then there's no pressure. It's honestly like a normal nightclub, except you might see people walking around naked.
There you go, Emma. You and
Wow, it would definitely be interesting.
You and Enzo doing it this weekend,
No,
then?
we're not. I just got married, Rebecca, like 3 months ago.
She's just saying give it a go.
I am the vanilla couple that gets married and like only stays with one person, but that's just for me.
No, just have a look.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know, everybody's different, so whatever
She's
works
boring,
for you.
isn't she? Yeah. Oh,
You
Rebecca.
too, mate. Haven't you been with your girlfriend for 2.5 years now?
Oh, she'd tear my eyes out if I even suggested we went there. I'd be dead. But hey, Rebecca, interesting to hear a real-life swinger. Rebecca on Mikey and Emma's Everyday People. She's a swinger. And, well, thank you for sharing your story and being so honest.
Thanks, Rebecca.
Thank you so much for having me.
Swing on. Is that what you guys say at the end of the party?
No, that's so lame. Who says that?
Yeah, no, not so much. We just do the normal, "Oh, it was great to meet you. See you later."
Oh, high fives? No?
No, just...
Look, it depends on the situation. If you're naked at the time, high fives can be a bit awkward.